Thanks, Piwe. Gorgeous George. George finds a friend. George and the Dragon. These are just some of the first 3 releases in Claire Tucker's current series of about 9 titles about the tales of Gorgeous George books. The offerings are a beautiful new collection of children's books following the tales of a Friesian horse who is very big with enormous feet, a splendid mane and a kind heart. Well, to tell us more about these reads, we're joined in studio by author Claire Tucker. Claire, it's great to have you in studio. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me here.
Let's talk about your passion and love for writing children's books. When did you discover that?
Oh, gosh. Last year, September.
Only?
Well, it's not really been a passion. It's something I fell into by mistake.
Okay.
So it all happened rather fast, and here I am. So...
And what was that like? I mean, how did you sort of stumble into it or fall into it?
Okay, so my mother suffered from cancer, and she'd been fighting this for 4 years before she passed away. And I would go to the stables, and I would go and get some time away and see these horses and see how they were doing. And I'd come back, and George was hysterical because he has the most well-developed imagination of any horse I've ever come across. So he can fall to pieces because there's a plastic bag sitting next to his stable. He has a great imagination. And I used to come back and tell my mother all about these things when she was bedridden. And she'd kill herself laughing and say, "You have to write this, you have to write this." And I said to her, yes, whatever. And then 3 years ago, I had a brain tumor removed. So, yeah, I know, it just keeps going, doesn't it? So, and I discovered that actually what I need to do is, while I can work for a certain portion of the day, my brain needs to play for the rest of the day because the work side just stops. And I thought, well, I'll write something down. So I wrote the first one, and then I wrote the second one and the third one, and within 3 months I'd written about 6.
And what kept the others coming? So after the first one, did you think, oh no, there's more to tell, or there's more time to play when I'm done with my adulting and day job and I can come back and write more books?
Well, I think it's just stuff that happens. It just amuses me. So I'll see something happening and go, oh, that's funny, that's good.
Yeah.
And if my kids think it's good, then it's probably going to be okay. So I just look at what's happening and take it from there.
And is George your own actual horse?
No, he's not my horse. He was rescued by a wonderful couple in East London. And he's an elderly lad, but he's just magnificent. And he's fantastic. He is everything a Friesian horse should be, and he's terrified of everything.
Aww.
So he's this enormous war horse with a fear of anything new, or even the same things that he sees every day. So if we go for a walk around the farm and I lead him over a cattle grid, he will still get afraid of the cattle grid and go, there's something in there that's going to bite me.
Yes.
It's like, no, George, there isn't. It's fine. Come on, let's go.
Oh, man. Let's talk about the illustrations in the books. Who did that for you? And, what were some of the conversations that you had with the illustrator? Okay,
so I do the drawings.
Oh, lovely.
Which is time-consuming because I'm not a natural artist.
Oh, you could have fooled us, Claire.
No, actually, there's a lot of help that goes in there. I have a wonderful publisher, and they actually put me in touch with an illustrator who then smooths all the colours.
I see.
So it makes it look a little more professional than my scribblings.
Now, the book is fun. It's quite engaging. And, I mean, it really speaks to... I think a lot of healing for a lot of people. It might be a children's book, and but in the way that you bring out these fun elements and these engaging elements in the book, what has that done for you writing it as the author?
Oh, it just allows me to play. It really just allows my brain to go left field. So instead of looking at a spreadsheet or thinking about pricing or trying to convince somebody to buy something very technical, I then stop and my brain goes, I wonder if you could do that. That's cool. Let's go down that road. And so that's where we go. And it literally is playtime. And rhyming is something I've always done. It's I grew up on Roald Dahl and wonderful, wonderful authors like that who one can never emulate.
Yes.
But that sense of twisted humor around the corner, that is kind of what I'm going for.
No, we absolutely love it. Let's talk about horses. I've had a lot of conversations about, horses with different people and just the appeal of horses. I've heard people saying, horses are great for healing or helping children who live with autism deal better. Horses bring a certain calm, they bring a certain peace. Talk to us about your connection with your horse and what that allowed you to do.
After George, I decided I'm not a natural rider either, so I have more enthusiasm than talent, and I fall off quite a lot, which is,
dangerous.
Well, it's easier when it's a lot easier when you're younger. When you're older, you kind of lie on the ground and go, okay, I don't really want to move for the next 10 minutes. Someone just bring me something to drink. I'm just going to lie here. But the thing about horses is that when they put out what you put in. So if you walk into a paddock or a stable angry, that's probably what's going to be reflected. They're like mirrors. And the thing for me was going through my mom's fight with cancer, which was long and torturous for our entire family. And just the ability to get out and know that as I drove through the gate, I had to put all my angst and emotion to one side. Because what I put out, I'd get back. And you really don't want to be kicked by a Friesian because their hooves are like this. So you just go in and they can sense when you're having a bad day. I mean, when my mom passed, I have a young Friesian now, which, again, when you have things like brain tumors, you suddenly realize life is short and you should just do the fun stuff. And this for me is the fun stuff. So I got this little Friesian and he's just an angel. And I walked in there into his stable. I just stood there and he came and he just put his head on my shoulder as if to say, it's okay, Mom. It's all right. It's good.
That is so beautiful.
So but it really is what you put in is what you get out. So if you're going to go and be aggressive, expect that back.
And that's a great metaphor for life.
Yes.
Whew. Gee, I just want a horse already. What's the feedback been like from parents and kids?
Okay, well, we've literally just launched. So I've just had books shipped on to my distributor in Cape Town.
Oh, lovely.
And today we're doing our first reading at Scoops this afternoon, Monte Casino, from 2 to 4, so please come and join us.
Lovely.
Apparently there's a champagne bar. So everybody I've shown the book to has had very positive response, but you always take that with a pinch of salt. Yes, you know me, okay, you have to say nice things. But I have a really great publicist, and she's shown it to a bunch of people, and so far the feedback has been fantastic. It's the rhyming, it's the humor, it's the metaphors, it's the fact that there are mice on every page, and you follow the story of the little mice because they're always up to something.
Yes.
So let's see.
And what else can we expect as you release the rest of the series?
Oh wow! So. I have the 3 books that have been printed.
Yes.
Book 4 is with my publisher at the moment. I'm busy drawing book 5, which is
You're having too much fun. It's a lot of fun.
I'm having too much fun, yes. Remind me of that later. Okay. And then for my sins, I decided, I did a book reading at my daughter's school. And for the grade 3s. And one of the little kids said to me, when are you bringing out a chapter book? I went, a chapter book? What's a chapter book? He said, no, a reading book. That's a good idea. Okay, I'll do that. So I've written 2. And a friend of mine is busy doing the illustrations for me because she's way more talented than I am.
Okay.
And let's see, that'll come out sometime next year. So far, my critical audience has been fairly good. My children have laughed, and if I can make them laugh, then I'm okay because they are very strict.
Oh, where can people get the book, just to wrap it up?
So any reasonably decent bookstore, definitely Scoops this afternoon you can get the book, but my distributor's working overtime, and so have a look. We've also got a website, gorgeousgeorgebooks.co.za, and you can purchase authorized copy, author signed copy, and George signs it as well.
Oh,
he's got a stamp. Also Amazon, if you're international, you can buy them on Amazon.
Lovely. Claire, thank you so much. This has been fun.
Thanks for having me here. Thanks.
That was author and horse enthusiast Claire Tucker. She's been speaking to us about the publication of her first 3 books, the gorgeous George series. Well, if you also belong to a book club or you're a lone reader, you can join us for our Sunday morning book feature to talk about some of the reads that you have currently gone through or have read. Just send us a detailed description of your book club on email. You can send us a picture of those books with a brief caption on our social media platforms. At Morning Live SABC is where you can find us on Twitter. Our Facebook page is Morning Live SABC, and of course you can drop us a mail, morninglive@sabc.co.za.